Yo, what's up? Let people join in, then I'll get started. You still have double sound? There's still effluent? There's still double sound? Oh, hold up. I shouldn't have double sound. There's no double sound. We're good. Alright, cool. I don't know why people are saying double sound. Yo, Am, right, you probably have it open on two different tabs, brother. Alright. Maybe I'll start a stage too, and then that way if people want to just listen. No, I'm good. It was just that guy had his two tabs open. How to use highs, lows, fair value gaps alone without any other advanced concepts? Well, that's just using fair value gaps and liquidity, right? So let's see if there's a better example on ES. I mean, price action is kind of not amazing. We'll use NQ as an example. All right, so we'll go ahead and just replay this. So if you're wondering how to use external and internal liquidity, I have a video on that. So this is all you do though, right? So what do we have right here? This is internal liquidity. This is a fair value gap. I'll work it out with it, right? We agree that is a fair value gap. So if we move from internal to external, external to internal, where are we likely to go? External liquidity, right? So then we move ahead. We've taken external liquidity. Now where do we go? Internal liquidity. Okay. Now we reach into internal. We already take external. And we actually took external first, it looks like. Took external first. Then we move to internal. So really now we have this low is external. So if we're going to move from internal to external, we do that. Okay. Now we hit this. Now if we're going to move from internal to external and external to internal, what do we have next? Well, we have another fair value gap right here. So if we're going to draw back into the range, where are we likely to go? In there. But I don't like to look after morning session. But that's how you use internal and external liquidity. And then what you do is when you're in these areas, then you go down to a lower time frame to frame something, right? So if I'm in here, then I go down to the 5-minute to trade to this low, right? So then I look, okay, this is where we actually, I mean, you can consider this the change in the state of delivery. I don't really like that time frame though, so I'm going to move up one. But kind of consider that the true change in state of delivery. But if you look right here, what do we have? Short-term high, short-term high. This forms an intermediate term high. So then the trade I'm looking for is here, right? When we make this, can trade off of that. Put my stop on here, looking to target the lows or projections, right? And the reason for that, I'm going to explain in the market structure video, but I can do my best real quick. So this is a short-term high, right? Now this is also a short-term high, sweeping another short-term high. So if this is going to form an intermediate term high, then we're going to form a short-term high on the other side. Where is it? Right there. And so then I'm looking for either this entry here or the short-term high that forms after this. So this would have been the silver bullet, but it never got hit, right? So if I was going to trade that, you know, like that, but it doesn't reach into it, which, let's see. Yeah, we have an SMT right there. We have an SMT on this high. But that's what I like to trade versus trading the low risk buy or sell. Because what happens is when you trade the low risk buy or sell, I'm sure many of you have done this where you're like, let me find an example. You're like this, ready? Let's rewind. You're like, okay, we move down, great. Form an order block. Awesome. Take an entry. What happens? We'll just practice. Take an entry. Oh, we'll go for back into equilibrium OTU this range, right? No, I'm doing this, right? Let's say we're targeting that. I'm sure many of you have done this. It goes and stops you out. And then you're like, why did it go to my target? And that's because you're trying to catch this low risk buy or sell. And so it becomes a more higher probability when you wait for structure to actually develop. So, all right, let me get to these questions now. You use different concepts each day. I answered this in my Discord yesterday or the day before, all the concepts I use. These are about it. Let me see. My screen, yeah, I'm not sharing my screen in the Discord, guys. If you want to join or see my screen, you can go to the YouTube. Discord doesn't work with my mic when I turn it on. My volume cuts out. Oh, sorry about that. But here you go. What do I use? Right there. Look at any of my analysis. This is what you'll see. There's a reason why. You just go down to here. What do we have? Discount premium, highs, lows, vertical lines for timing, fair value gaps, mitigation, right? And then projections. And then what do I have? Entries. Right? That's all I have on my favorites tab. And then yeah, this is for like drawing paths. This is to write on stuff. Use this to explain stuff. How can you identify daily biasing of choppy price action, USD? So for example, let's go to DXY. I mean, you can zoom out. We've been in a consolidation for 12 months. Right? Now, if you look at the lower time frame here, go down to like a 4-hour. What are we doing? We're just consolidating, right? Here's our initial dealing range. So when we sweep buy side or sell side, how do I trade consolidations? I'm only focused on the externals of the range, or the kind of depends how it sets up. This one is setting up like a broadening formation, right? You can see that keeps widening in the range. But if it's something like NQ, Where are we at? 4. So if it's something like NQ, I was talking about this earlier yesterday, and we're in a range like this, right? Until we exit this range and get out of it, we're likely to go where? Back to equilibrium of the range. So drawing this out, what do you have? Equilibrium. And then if you check my chat, I talked about a few other things, splitting this into a discount premium, right? So you have quadrants. Right? There's a lots easier way to do this, but I'm just trying to give you a visual. When in a consolidation, my interest is in here or above old highs and old lows, right? But then you could combine it with other things, right? This is just on one time frame. So for example, on euro, looking at dollar, dollar's just consolidating, right? I'm not really interested in this because dollar's stuck in this range, right? And so the only things I'm looking at is we have a CE of a wick here, volume imbalance with liquidity resting above it. Ideally, we'd see something like there to go reach higher or there to go reach higher, right? I don't really care because I'm just going to wait for it to exit the consolidation. But really, when stuff's like this, then going to currency futures and pairing stuff is a lot better. So you look at what's moving, right? Give me one sec. Right, so Euro JPY will have more movement because I'm pairing currency futures together, right? And so you can see when dollar's consolidating, that gives crosses the opportunity to move around. And then if we look at the hour, okay, we have SMT on this high right here. And we get this New York reversal, right? So then first target would be these lows here. Go to a 5-minute. Not very clean for me, but right here, this place, I'm not trying to catch the low risk sell. But what do we do? If you saw my tweet yesterday, I'll actually pull it up. I said something very specific. I said this. The order block that forms at the fair value gap of the low risk buy or sell. So let's take a look. Okay. This could be low risk if you get in here, right? Any of this is kind of the low risk sell. But when we reach into the right time, displace, close below, right? So you can see we never really form an order block out of here, right? Because I'd want this series of down close candles. We never close below series of down close candles, right? Now, right here, we reach into a fair value gap, displace, right? You see how we displace, close below this low? And we have this order block with a fair value gap. This is when I expect this to hold. And then any short-term high after this is basically a sell to these lows, which you can see doesn't even give one. But that's just an example of finding the one-sided expansion. Yeah, I know my Discord screen is not on. Yeah, it's recorded on YouTube. Looking at daily profiles, we have London reverses New York. Well, so here's the thing. I only trade, go to NQ for this example. I only trade New York session, right? So we have Asia session. I'll just draw boxes. We have Asia session, we have a London session, and then we have the New York session. Go study each day and tell me when the majority of the daily range is created, right? Normally, it's either London or New York, and most of the time, New York. Why is my focus there? Well, I want to catch the daily range, right? Like look at the daily range here. Yeah, London fades down, but where does most of the range come in, right? There's AM, there's PM, right? Now, here's kind of how daily profile works. I made a tweet about this as well. You have 3 of these. What else do we have 3? AMD, right? So generally, I like to see Asia do what? Consolidate, London manipulate, and then what does New York do? Distribute, right? So if we put those together, now we have a power of 3. Now we combine this with open, high, low, close. That's how you get the daily profile. So let's go apply this to today. What do we have? Asia, London, right? London makes this large range, which is fine, right? Because it did manipulate Asia range. Where's this displacement? We manipulate this high into this void, right? See that? Fill the void. Now we retrace into London's range. Then what happens in New York? Distribution. So that's all I'm going to say until I make my videos on him. But if you go study it, you'll figure it out yourself. I'm going to make videos on these soon. But this is your classic sell day. So we pull up open, high, low, close. You have open, high, low, close. Classic sell, right? Hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of all I'm going to give for now. I've kind of given a lot of clues on that if you just go look in your charts for a few weeks, study each day. All right, let's see. I'm not really interested in NQ. Like I've said, I kind of just explained what I look for. I only look for that during New York AM session. We are almost out of. Also, we've never broken the low. We never broke the high that made the new low. So this is still bearish for me. And if you're in the indices chat, you'll see why I'm wanting lower prices still, but don't care for it. I can move my mic in a little. If you guys have questions, please ask them in the YouTube so I can help. Why not equal highs around 14,740? 14. What do you mean? 14. Yeah, I mean, yes, these will be a draw for later. Why not now? Well, there's nothing on the daily profile here telling me to long this, right? Also, if we go back to, I'll go search something real quick. All right. So I had someone asking about those highs, and I just posted this to them. Now, this is on the 4-hour chart, but what do you notice about this? Discount and premium of this range. We reached down into a discount before going to reach for these highs. Let's take a look at that. Go back to our 4-hour chart. Now, why this range right here? Well, let's go take a look at the daily chart. If you've noticed anything about my streams or anything, everything's off the daily chart. So this is the obvious low that came with this expansion higher. And then this is the high that we currently have. Now, what do we know about discount and premium? I want to see discount for buying opportunities, premium for shorting opportunities. So going back to this photo, what do I want to see? Price reach into a discount. Where is that discount? Here, right? Will we reach that? Who knows? Who cares? I won't care until my daily setup occurs, right? Now, if we do reach into this, then I'm starting to eye these highs. But why would I be trying to catch every single low in here to get to these highs? Why not wait for a low to be made, then go catch those highs, right? A lot of people, ICT 2022 mentorship teaches you to try to catch reversals, right? That's the one thing that kind of sucks. A lot easier to just play with the trend. What do you recommend for starters, beginners? Watch the 2022 mentorship. How do you determine likely weekly expansion? Look at the higher time frames, weekly, monthly. But I'm mainly just focused on the direction of the hourly candle, or of the weekly candle, right? If I can determine the direction of the weekly candle, for example, right here, let's go back. What do we do right here? We form a swing low. So I can anticipate price to reach for this high on a weekly time frame, right? So when we start the new week, what would I want to see? Well, there's only two ways a candle forms: open, low, high, close, or open, high, low, close. That's the only two ways a candle forms. So if I'm looking for price to go higher, I'd want to see open, low, high, close, right? That's a bullish candle. So then at the start of the new week, I want to see my weekly open, right? I want to see price go lower than the weekly open, which it did, but open, low, high, close. So ideally, then I look at the news. So I have my bias on my weekly, then I look at the news. Where can I anticipate manipulation or accumulation, right? If we have no news day on Monday, and this is a short week, Tuesday, where's the news fall? Okay. Oh, we have news Wednesday, I believe, or if Thursday, whatever. But now, what do you know about my next day bias video? Can't close below this low, can reach for this high. But now you combine that with the weekly objective to reach here, or that anticipation to move higher. Weekly profile, Wednesday low a week, we can anticipate Thursday and Friday to expand. Now I have bias for 2 days going up. Have we reached this high yet? Not yet. There we go. I don't care about all the extra, but there, right? If I want, I can project this low. But there you go. That is how I do it. Would you rather stream on Discord if you did fix your mic issue? No, I kind of like YouTube, honestly, because then it saves. People can watch it earlier or later. Do you use 3-step AMD to enter your trades? Not really sure what you mean by 3 steps, but yes, I use AMD. Your position size video, why do you decide to use 1 for indices and 1,000 for Forex? Because that's the, go down to, sec. That's that's just the lot size that is equal to what I execute on, right? Right? So that's what gives me the correct risk, right? So if it's not the correct, then you adjust this lot size. So, what indicator are you using for the candle? Look in the Discord under power of 3 indicator. I am gonna be recording video later this spring for the daily profiles. Let me go try to find these questions fully. Why do you call it low risk sell in a consolidation? Low risk sell is that first sell off of a market maker model. So if you understand market maker models, it's their first opportunity to get in, and that's generally what the 2022 model is your low risk buy or sell. It's called low risk. It's not actually low risk, it's the higher risk entry. I think I don't trade PM session at all. Yes, this will be live after. How to find intraday bias, just use what I talk about and go down a time frame. How did you go through filtering weekly profile? I kind of just went through that. Hopefully it helps. Yeah, FOMC may drop us. I don't really care. If I was to do something, I would probably just trade some options. On high volatility events, I prefer to trade options because my risk is limited. Best indices for trading, probably the one I have on the screen. Don't think he will, as he uses. Yeah, some stuff the MMXM trader has taught me I won't share, and that's just out of respect for him, right? He teaches me stuff. I'm not just gonna go and put it out on YouTube. If price creates two fair value gaps, go up a time frame or use discount and premium. Can you show you the London projections? That's for something to go study. I put it in the Discord. I put it in my videos. It's a big part of my model, but you'll find it if you want it. I need to know about reversal, please. Not sure what you mean by that question. When you catch a continuation of the open high low close during New York. Yeah, so I mean, let's say you're saying open low high close. If we have open low and we start to move higher, and I'm anticipating London to be low day, we retrace into New York. This is a buy for me to go higher to these failure swings or generated buy side liquidity. And then also what I just talked about with projections, which I've hinted enough at and actually talked about in a video. So for CSD higher time frames like the 1 hour, should the 5 minute, it can be outside the OB. Or I'm a little confused on your question about the change in state of delivery for hour and 5 minute. Everyone who wants this indicator, it's power of 3. You don't need the Pro Plus. I just have that because friends with the guy who codes all this. I'm not gonna talk about my bread and butter setup for the same reason. It's MMXM's model. I add some stuff to it. For those of you who keep spamming the chat with the same exact question, I'm going to mute you. So, because you make it hard to read stuff. Oil. I actually wanted oil to go higher today. Up to here, but it didn't give that out of New York. I was looking for this, retch into an hourly fair value gap. This place is higher. I was looking for a retracement, but this is an example of the low risk buy or sell, right? We don't form that. So, not really interested in oil anymore, or at least for the time being. All right, I'm gonna mute you, Amaret, because for 5 minutes at least. What are my OBS settings? I know if you want to DM me on Twitter, I'm pretty sure we've talked there as well. I can send you screenshots of them or specific settings. I do have a 1440p monitor, and then I convert it to 1080p in OBS. No, I don't plan on doing a course right now, but can you please walk us through the process the moment you open the laptop to trade? I actually have a video coming out on that, my morning routine. But the night before, I already know what I'm going to be looking for the next day. Because that's how I get my daily bias, weekly profile, all that. It's the following day, I know what I'm looking for. So when I get in the morning, I look at that chart. Let's say my bias is down, right? What is the daily profile doing? When my bias is down, it cuts those templates into half, right? I focus on 3 templates really. Then I only have 3 to look for. Now if I look at Asia and London session, what they did, it's cut down to 1 daily template. And then I just look for my entry. Yeah. They name it low risk entry probably because you should use lower risk. Are you following the charter videos IC's posting? I've already watched all those charter ones. I have them saved on my computer. So like before he posted them. You only trade New York AM. Oh, I do after 8:30. How do you know if we're gonna retrace to equilibrium? Request. You mean like on the daily? Can you give me an example of what you mean by equilibrium? Or like an example of when you mean it? Yeah, I personally don't use quarterly theory, but I more use 8:30 as kind of like a Judas swing, yeah. So like today, we'll go down to the 15-minute, right? I just focus at it at an important time. So here I see 8:30 reaches back up into where? London's range. All these up close candles here, an order block on an hourly time frame, higher time frame, right? Yeah. So we retrace into an order block at 8:30. 8:30, when you see this candle wick up and then down and take a previous candle's high, what does my daily bias video say? The next candle should be reaching for this low, right? Or lower. This is a lower time frame sweep, right? And we don't have SMT on it, but like if we go down to a lower time frame, I know we're sweeping highs right here, right? Then when we close below, I know we had a move up, creating this wick, right? That's what a move up is. And then down, closing below. So this is a lower time frame change in the state of delivery. Then it puts us down. So ideally, this is kind of creating a high resistance liquidity. So I kind of look at 8:30. If you sit in the indices chat, I talk about how 8:30, 9:30, 10 can create order blocks. That's kind of what I mean, right? We'll find a little better example here. Let's see if the 1 minute's good. But for example, this is that wick, right? And I'm looking at the series of up close candles there. That's the order block, right? So if you practice going between the lower time frames and higher time frames enough, you'll understand. When you just understand the open, high, low, close, you can see the lower time frames, right? So for example here, right? We made a low, then we just displaced higher, right? Then we kind of chop around, right? So it does this. Then we open, we take this high, so we're sweeping. Displace, close back here. So now we have a range, high, range, low. We retrace back up. This opens, puts in a high, low, close. So this is retesting the lower time frame order block. Can't displace, doing there, right? Now we're just retracing into a range, sweeping highs. Open, high, low, close. What do we have? This low to this high. There's going to be a series of up close candles because price can't get from this low to this high without making up close candles, right? See that? Up close candles. So I know on a lower time frame, there's going to be an order block in here, right? So you can just kind of see other time frames without going lower. So actually, I'll just do that. You can see here's that order block, right? So that's kind of what I do a lot. I kind of explained that in my SMT video. If you notice how I was talking about SMTs on highs and lows, you can see those from the higher time frame, right? Trying to find a good example. So like right here, good. This low, I know on a 5-minute chart there's an SMT put in here, right? From right there. Why? Because look on the hourly chart. Right there, that low. That same low is taken on ES. So you can see on the higher time frames, we open low, sweep this, NQ doesn't. Now we drop to a 5-minute. Very slight, but we know NQ doesn't have this, right? Because it made this high. We go to ES, you can see that SMT, right? So you can see a lot of this stuff from the higher time frames once you practice. I don't have a mentorship, but if you sit in my Discord, you'll learn. Run through today's chart. I don't really watch YM. It's garbage. YM's strongest. I'm not really interested in YM. The only time I'm interested in YM or something like this is here. We form an SMT on this low. My bias is to these highs. So if this is lagging, that's the six sister model to trade higher. So you can get a later entry to get this speed coming back up. But I don't really watch that. Yeah, I'm making a scalping strategy video. Templates, I don't have a video on that yet. I didn't really prep for today because I wasn't trading today. Yeah, if you want a course, check out MMXM Trader's course on his Twitter. Two mentored me, so. It's possible to confirm a more midweek reversal. I'm looking for daily closes. Like I said, everything comes off the daily chart for me. But also, one thing with me is I prefer to trade external of the range back to internal of the range, right? Like I feel more comfortable trading this down than I do trading this out, right? So that's just something that I know about myself. I I have one framework I follow, but that includes multiple different models, right? A lot of people struggle with ICT because they get so many different models stuck in their head. They're like breaker block, this. That shit doesn't matter. It's all the framework that matters. The whole point of ICT is building that narrative of why price should go where. After you understand that, the entry doesn't really matter. Like I'm sure you've noticed is like if you have the higher time frames right, you can take a shit entry and still profit off of it. Right? But people will just try to catch every reversal and pattern off the lower time frame. Okay, 1 second. I meant should the CSD occur inside the 1 hour B? I'm a little confused still on your question. When I reach a point of interest, we'll just take a, let's go back here. So we reach into a point of interest, have SMT here, right? And then generally for my change in state of delivery, I'm looking for this high, right? In this case, we have another SMT here. So I'll consider this my change in state of delivery right there. So then once we retest here, I can be looking for any 5-minute entry higher, right? This is out of my kill zone. So if I was trading this, I would be trading it on an hourly chart with hourly invalidation. But I'm a little confused on your question. And, let's see. You talked about classic bullish weekly profile. But when you have a low on Monday, move higher on Tuesday. Yeah. If you have a low on Monday, move higher on Tuesday, low on Wednesday. The only reason I'd consider that is if we don't really go anywhere Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday can make a low. Then Thursday, Friday's expansion. But if Monday just makes the high a week, or if Monday just makes the low a week, I'm not super interested. I prefer Tuesday low a week. But then if Monday does make that low a week, that goes into about Thursday, Wednesday. Go over OTE. You watch the video. OTE is kind of just a tool, right? So, for example, today we retrace into London's range, OTE, right? I just use it kind of as a tool. Honestly, I don't use it a whole lot. I just use discount and premium. For example, I just mark out discount and premium of this range. I know we're into a premium here. Here we're deeper into premium, retesting up close candles. And then you can kind of just visually see it's an OT. But it's kind of up to you to build your own strategy. I don't know what works for you. Asia doesn't accumulate. Hold up. It skips a lot. Asia doesn't accumulate. Do you generally see the day out? If London has a large range, all right, if Asia has a large range, generally London is going to consolidate and then New York will manipulate. And so sometimes London close gives something, but yeah, when London has a large range, I don't like it. Here, London has a large range, but it makes sense within the daily profile, right? Because we're getting a retracement into this, right? For a continuation lower. Now, if we have something like Asia moving all the way up, London just sitting here, I'm not really interested in New York, but New York a lot of times will just retrace back into that range up, right? Stop focusing, you're talking about you can't get any entries. Stop focusing on getting like a perfect entry. Figure out where price shouldn't go, have a stop loss, have a target. If you have good risk management and like good RR, just enter. Like it's like here's an example, right? Let's say I'm trading the retracement here of London, right? If I'm just waiting for a perfect fair value gap here, do I ever enter the trade? I have one here. Never into the trade all the way to these lows. Versus if I just enter the trade here, have my stop on somewhere that shouldn't go, London high, target the low, there's 2.68. Or let's say we move lower here, we have displacement below, an up close candle, take an entry, my stop above these up close candles, or up here, still getting about 2R. I don't need a perfect entry. I just need to know where price is going. How to identify continuation reversal? That comes from my bias. The MMXM trader. Yeah, if you ask in Discord, I can drop you a link. Is it preferable not to trade the AM session Silver Bullet when you have news at 10? I don't know, because I don't really I don't trade the Silver Bullet. What videos would you recommend about where price is going? Watch my internal to external range video. The resolution of the chart is not very good. So click the YouTube settings and change it to 1080p. You probably have it on auto or very low. Do you ever change weekly bias midweek? I base my bias off the weekly profile and daily chart. So not generally. But I'm not a huge fan of stuff right now. Like if you notice in my Discord, the only thing I kind of called out was this GBP right here. But not a fan of price action right now. Oil's been pretty good, but with DXY consolidating, looking at Euro or I don't know why I have Euro GBP there. That's supposed to be Euro. Looking at Euro and GBP, not fun. You know that Euro is weaker than pound though, so when you do look at Euro GBP, we'll go for example, it's going to have some decent movement. It's not bad, but I don't like to trade Euro GBP. Okay, so I said that for that video because I'm trying to keep something very simple for a video, right? Like, for example, I'll go over an example we talked about in the Discord with someone. So, because I was bearish yesterday, and they asked me why. because we closed over previous day high, shouldn't we reach for previous day high? Well, we do, right? They're like, well, why would you be bearish? Well, look when it was taken, right? Then what I look at, I explained this in the Discord if you go back, we have discount premium of this range. All I was looking for was a retracement to equilibrium. Like I said, I prefer to trade back to equilibrium. It's just, I don't know, feels more comfortable for me. So we took previous day high right here. When we fall back inside this range, then I can be bearish, right? Pairing it with other things. My daily bias video is trying to keep something super simple, which it's not always super simple, right? So when you trade NQ1 exclamation point, you're actually just going to trade the first contract. It just automatically goes to that. I already answered the unicorn trader already answered your question. Exotic pairs, yeah. Can you explain something about that reversal on UGB after small consolidation? So let's take a look. What do we have? Swing high. We form a swing low, form one here. Right, so we have swing high, swing high. We're trending down, right? You can see up close candles resisting price. Form an up close candle, and you can see close below it. We're retesting it. Right? So that's my bias for down. Kind of already went over this. SMT, EVP, JPY. But you're asking about this reversal here. I kind of already explained it if you go later in the video. But gotta move the time here. I'm waiting for a move out of the consolidation. Still having audio issues? And my audio is coming through when I just checked. You ever take partials? I'll take partials over 2R at areas of liquidity or like offset distribution. How to pick the right exotics? Well, you want to pair a strong currency with a weak currency. So for example, going to my futures tab here, what do we see as a strong currency? Yen. Yen is strong future currency. Now I want to pair that with a weak or a consolidating one. So I could do USD JPY. That's probably fine. Right, here we go. Also moves well. Similar thing. Trace to up close candle, close below. This up close candle supporting. Now, what else can I look at? What else is weak? Well, Euro. Euro has been weak. Sorry, I'm in the wrong tab. Euro has been weak. Right here. So mainly I'd want to be looking at pairing the yen with the dollar or euro. Right? That makes sense? Because if I pair something like, I don't even know. If I pair the franc with yen, it's not going to be as good because they're moving opposite, right? Like, let me see if I even have it. Right here. You see how that's not very great because they're moving together, so you're not going to get a lot of movement. Let me go back. That's how I pair them. Just look for consolidating or strong, pair it with a weak or consolidating. If you're talking about that app, yeah, I'm not sure. Snow, what's up, dude? It's all on YouTube, guys. If you're in the Discord, this live stream's all in the YouTube channel. Let me see. I missed some questions in the actual Discord. I'm gonna pull that up, bro. MMXM's Twitter handle, sure. Let me grab it for you guys. So if you guys want MMXM's Twitter handle, just put it in that chat. Let me see if I missed any more questions. Anyone in the stage, it's in the YouTube. All right, I don't require a fair value gap when we get a change in the state of delivery. Right? I don't personally. If you go walk through this video, I already showed you how to predict daily bias. I also have multiple videos on that. If you check out AM Trade's video, talk about that as well. You solo use. I don't really scalp anymore. Like I can if I'm bored and like for fun, but I don't really do it. I'll explain how I do it in a video. All I'm going to talk about is multiple different concepts and choosing them, putting them together to form a model. But for me, I'm trying to capture the daily range. I'm not going to do that scalping generally. Accumulation phase, we'll just look for consolidation after the low risk buy or sell. Have you ever realized the unicorn always forms on the AMD? Yeah, that's true, because with an AMD, what you're going to get is you have consolidation, a buildup of liquidity. What is liquidity? Lows. When we purge a low, right, and come back, that's your manipulation. What do we have? Low, high, lower low. So when we displace through this, now we have a unicorn model, right? So there's a few ways to trade that. Little insight, if you watch the box setup and you're like, why box setup versus breaker? Breaker versus unicorn, you know, all that. Let me rephrase this. Why the box setup over unicorn is if you get something like this, right? You can catch the box setup right there before we form the breaker and the unicorn. So check general chat, you sent an image. Let me pull it up. Do you know if we're gonna retrace or drop lower? I don't there. I don't have any. Oh, right there. That's just daily profile and the timing of it. If I'm looking long out of that area, here, I'll pull this up on the chart real quick. People can see. They said, how do you know if you're gonna retrace or go lower here? And really, oh wow, that is horrendous. Hold up. Okay. I don't know, right? I never know. But we form London high a day. We retrace up, right? Even if I'm going to long, I'm not longing from up here. We're in a premium of this range. So if I'm going to long, I'm at least looking down into here, right? So if I short and we get down into this range, I can take some off, do whatever, lower my risk, do whatever. But I'm not looking to long right here. Like, just use discount premium of that. But also mainly, we get pretty good displacement out of London's range. If London would have done this, immediately displaces back up, then I'm looking for this whole range here to become an order block and to reach higher up into here. Kind of from this range there. We also have mitigation. So it's kind of what I mean. That's why daily bias, it's just, daily bias is what matters. I know you've, oh yeah, trying to explain that. Closed over. If we didn't close over here, then I'd anticipate a move back into there. Can't remember who I was explaining that to. But Ash, you've been struggling with, you're always trying to find every possibility, right? Because let's say price is right here. What you struggle with is, I have a fair value gap here, but I also have one over here, right? You're like, it could go either way, right? Stop focusing on those lower time frame things, right? To move lower, you're always going to have to violate bullish PD arrays. To move higher, you're always going to have to violate bullish PD arrays. What matters is your higher time frame. Where is price actually drawing for, right? Hopefully that kind of helps. Yeah, unicorn, just say stuff one time. Um, what? Let me go find your question again. Oh, well that's how the math works out to give me the correct position size. I just insert one lot size and that's what works out for futures, right? You have to mess with it to see what works for you. You don't need to learn everything. If you learn everything, you're gonna get so lost. Are you or anybody entering the Robbins Cup? I don't know. I'm not. I don't really care for that stuff. If you notice, I don't really care for like clout and all that. I just post my stuff, help people out, and that's it. I stay out of all drama. I just do my own thing. I don't really care to enter that. Best practices or tips work on your psychology. All right. Psychology. Here is how psychology works. Ready? This is it. Make plan. Follow plan. There you go. Do that. You don't have to worry about anything else. Where you get problems is can't do this. When you can't follow your problem, then you fall into this cycle where I can't follow my plan. And then instead of taking accountability for that, you're blaming it on your strategy or the market. And then you're like, my strategy doesn't work. Now you're hopping to every new shiny thing. It's just this big circle, right? Make a plan, follow your plan. That's it. Did you learn from ICT? No. Well, so I learned from ICT and then the MMXM trader mentored me. And then I also like, I'm friends with AM trades like in real life. So we talk. Like I'm friends in real life with Sniper, Day Trading Ralph, MMXM Trader, AM Trades, all those people. Unicorn Trader. If I've talked about bias in this video multiple times. I have multiple videos in my channel about it. I'm not gonna repeat myself on that. I've done it like 4 times in this video. That's an L. What's an L? Oh. Also, stop being so negative. People are so negative to themselves, right? That's not gonna help you at all. You have to be so like overwhelmingly confident that you almost like don't believe it, right? Like I am the best trader, right? You can't like talk so negatively to yourself. That's not going to help you. If you say you're a shit trader, well then you're probably shit. If you say you're a good trader, you're probably going to become good. Right? That's why when you go journal and review, you're saying to yourself, I saw this move coming, right? What if you didn't? You saw this move coming. You imprint it in your brain that you knew it. All right, do I look at monthly candles? Yeah. More so like if I'm positionally trading for the monthly. Like I'll go to an example. We'll see if it loads up. Oh, it hasn't. This was something I was watching on AMD, right? Right. It's like on stocks and stuff, I pay attention to the monthly a lot because monthly point of interest. Then I look for daily for execution. Right, because I'm holding these for months at a time. Or just forever almost. As for like stuff like this, yes, I pay attention to the monthly, right? And the daily, but it's more so the given weekly candle that I pay attention to. Can we play COD? Or I'll play Rainbow Six Siege with you, but I don't play COD. And I also have to make a video today because I'm traveling for a month next week. I have to like get my videos done ahead of time, or you guys don't get any videos. So if you watch my my video on mitigation, just find an example. Why are they the most like overlooked? People struggle to use them, right? But really they can provide areas of reaccumulation for you. Let's see if I can find like a better example. None of these are really that great. I'll just go to an example I threw up in for giving examples. I try to give like good examples and clear examples. Makes more sense for people. All right, we'll just use this example. All right, so example, this was a day where I sat in indices chat and walked through this price action here. You can look at my channel and see it. Why would I anticipate a reaction here? Well, we have a bullish order block. Now, why do we have a bullish order block? Well, you see, we have a fair value gap here. Price reaches into a fair value gap, our point of interest, displaces and closes below this low. And you can see we get a reaction off of this. This is a bullish order block, bearish order block. Then when we disrespect this, that is your mitigation, right? Mitigation isn't like a block or anything. It's a concept, right? It's what traders do. Let's say people are short in here, right? We go blow them out of the water. When price retraces here, it allows them to offset their positions near or at break even. That's why we get a reaction there. So why could I anticipate a move above this high, retracement here, and then why right here, right? Why retrace there? Well, what do we also have here? Up close candles, right? Or mitigation. Why that up close candle? Well, what do we notice about this little volume imbalance, up close candle here? It's where price reacts. For my mitigation, I'm looking for where price has reacted before normally. Right? It's kind of like support and resistance, right? So then we'll just go kind of walk through this and why is it so underused? So then why explain? Why is my thought process to reach above this high? In the last photo, it looked like I just drew a random line. I drew a random line, right? No, I see low resistance liquidity here. We have a gap here. So if price reaches above this, what do we notice after we take old highs or old lows? We get a retracement or reversal. Old high, retracement into this old area of like resistance, let's just say, turning support to continue higher, right? Now it's not exactly what happens. Let's see, go back. And I linked all these with timestamps in the Discord, if you don't believe me. But we retrace, touch there. Now, what do I talk about with mitigation in my video? I'm looking for new PD arrays to form within that. What do we have in this area here? We have a down close candle reaching into important level, displacement, closure over that. We now have an order block there to continue higher. And then we'll go ahead and just get this last one. Right? You can see that is the high probability entry for me. Not this, not down here. It's this, pairing with mitigation, new PD arrays, right? And here, it's even higher probability for me because we create equal highs here or generate more buy-side liquidity. Once we take this high here, we should not retest this area. So if I'm in here, when we break this high, my stop can be break even. Get like what? 2 points of drawdown. Then we reach up, can project this low. You can see how it all goes together. But like even here, it's not as clean, like I was saying, but how would I mark this out? What do I look? Well, if we're going to reverse here, where do I anticipate reaccumulation? There. There. Right? So if price comes in, disrespects this, I expect some kind of, I just say like BS going on in here, right? Boom. So let's see what happens. We go lower. Now I don't really anticipate price to reach for this high. I wouldn't like to see it because we now form new up close candles. The thing I don't like about this is like I would have preferred this to be a bigger bodied candle. So if we sweep this high, I'd put my stop over that. But if I was to be short, but this could be possibly an entry, right? But let's just wait for the mitigation, right? Ideally, I want to see reaccumulation in here, right? You see, we get kind of some BS going on here. That's why it's not very clean. Do we take this high? Looks like we do. But once we clean out in here, this is when I would be looking, right? We form a new PD array in here. So if price comes up and retests this, then I can look short. I don't really like this, right? I prefer just a lower order block or like smaller order block. But 930 Judas, there, right? I don't really like that stop, but you can see we would get tagged in there. And there you go, right? So you can see where this reaccumulation should occur. Now this is a pretty shit example, right? So I like my YouTube videos are better because I actually find good examples to teach. You can see a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm so late to this, right? They're like, if I don't catch this first initial sell, it's too far gone, I'm chasing. That's what the 2022 mentorship kind of teaches you, right? When you understand advanced market structure though, and just like how everything works out, you can see there's more selling in here, right? You can see up close candle, up close candle. I'm not interested in stuff like this because yeah, we make equal lows, but where would my stop have to be? Up above this up close candle. So then that's like just a 1-to-1. Now, unless I'm anticipating, like I said, projection off of there to get over 2, then I'm not really interested. It does go into 2, but that's kind of how I explain it. So if you go look at my gold trade, right? Why did I anticipate that? It's mitigation. Do I trade futures or forex? I'd say I trade NQ the most, but it really depends what is has the one-sided expansion. How many trades you take a week on average? Probably like 0 to 3. Yeah, I actually liked oil for longs, like I said. Right? You're talking about right here, because we have, it'll be right in here, like a 15-minute fair value gap right in there. I missed it. We have a 15-minute fair value gap right in there with an order block. This is just, it just doesn't work out, right? Like people think everything's gonna work out all the time. It's not, right? Stuff just doesn't work out. Would I have preferred this to go long? Yeah, I already said that at the very beginning of the video. I was looking towards this, right? Just a continuation of the daily trend, right? But you have to zoom out sometimes. Can anyone tell me what is going on in the monthly chart here? We have a monthly fair value gap right here. Right? So that's why another thing to understand is what is today? It's the last day of the month. Right? So on a monthly time frame, we have an open, high, low, close. I mean, open, low, high, close. So if we're going to put in a high and close, well, a lot of times the end of the month gets the move opposite of the week or the monthly move, right? So monthly moving up, a lot of times that last day or two comes back against. But I still would have preferred us to reach for this high, right? Like that. This is something I look for. If like it's according to my model, if things would have set up right. What do you think about 955 short entry? Yo, 1 second. I'm getting a FaceTime from Sniper. Alright, we're gonna have to hop off in like 5 or 10 minutes. 955 short entry. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really look at it. Nope. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about. You can also just look, we reach into a premium of this range. There to there. Right at a discount. So that's all right though. On the last day, if on oil, so like here's an example. Let's say monthly, we do this, right? Here's our opening on the monthly. So what we do is we create a monthly open here. We create a low, then we move higher, right? This month is full of expansion. It's like TGIF, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday comes back in. And we think about the same concept. Around the first week, second, third week, fourth week makes this low close, right? And not really the fourth week, but if we're going to close in the highs, last few days. So like, for example, go to daily. Okay, for example, on the daily, right? Let's go here. Monthly on DXY. What do we see here? Right? Here is the open of the new candle. What do we get? Here is our monthly to here to here. We open, we make a high. Now we expand lower the entire month. So what do we get at the end of the month? You reach into sell side liquidity, imbalance, open, high, low, close. Now we pull up, monthly candle will look like this. Right? There you go. It's just applying all the concepts work together, right? So then like, oh, TGIF, you want to use that. There you go. Why is the monthly retrace right into here? Well, what about TGIF? 20 to 30% of the weekly range. Same things work on the monthly chart. If you want to learn how I trade or what concepts I use, please go check my channel in the Discord. Not even yesterday I posted all the concepts I focus on. Yeah, I take other things into account, but those are what I use. Gold, the gold's ripping. I'm not really interested in gold. Right? You know, took that trade there. Once we hit here, I could have turned around and played it the other way. Did not like it. I think we make an SMT with silver here. Yeah, we do. The SMT on this high, we go retrace, hit this low, external to internal. So this day right here, possible trading day for me. This one, not. Once we hit here, can look for price to trade back into there, but we're just kind of consolidating, right? Like, look at that. So, yeah, I'm planning, so here's the thing, I basically, next week I leave, and then I'm traveling till like end of March. Don't ban, not spam. What do you mean? I'm not banning not spam. If people spam the chat, I will ban it. I travel from February, or like I'm not home from February till like end of March. I'm trying to get stuff done, and then once I have those all scheduled out, then I can probably do some trade reviews. Daily NQ. I explained in the beginning of the video, I'm just looking at discount premium of this range. I don't really prefer to trade from the inside out, right? So internal out. I prefer to trade the other way. And check out AM Trades PDFs. You'll learn a lot from that. I kind of just explained what I meant. I prefer to trade external in. It's a lot easier. Yo, actually, Carl, send me a DM. I will go skydiving. That'll be sick. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I will fly out to Sweden and go skydiving. That sounds so sick. I'll do that for like a week. Yeah, I'm done with school. I graduated in December, so I'm done. I'm chilling. Kind of weird. I have like too much free time sometimes. But that's why I'm going. Yeah, shoot me a DM on just let me know if you shoot me a DM on Twitter or Discord, because I have a lot of DMs sometimes. So computer science. I did finance. But let's see what we're doing. Ideally, I'd want to see us run one more low. But like I said, out of my session, don't really care. How old am I? 22. Well, no, I'm actually 23 now. It was my birthday last week, so we're 23 now. Look at that. So the thing is, here I'll teach you guys something about candle closures, right? Would I expect this move to occur in the next 10 minutes? No. Why? If this move's going to occur, it's going to occur when we get a new open, high, low, close of the hourly chart. We need a new hourly candle, right? It's the same thing here. We sweep this high, we close, then on the next candle, then we can make the move lower, right? So I wouldn't anticipate this to really move much between here and here for the next 10 minutes or so. Yeah, I could be wrong. We might make another sweep, but let's see. Yeah, we have the SMT there as well. But that's just something that open highs and lows and closes, right? Like, to get a move, you need that new opening candle. You're not gonna make, like, people think like, oh, it can reach up in one candle and move all the way down in another candle. Like, no, this will take 1, 2, sometimes 3 candles to make that move. So I'm did not do the CFA exam or study for it, or yeah, no thanks. Not a oh, I read that as CPA. I didn't do either though. I just did it to graduate, to be honest. No, I'm just gonna trade for myself. You go through a forex trade. I haven't traded this week, so don't really have much to talk about. I'm waiting for dollar to like people are really struggling right now. They're like, why can't I get any good daily bias? Why can't I do this? And I'm like, have you looked at the daily chart? Like, you expect to get good bias in here, right? Like, look how much easier it is to trade something like this. Versus that. Like, look at these closures. Have fun. The only way I would consider looking at trades on this is marking highs and lows, and when we take highs and lows, looking to enter trades. Right there. We'll hop down to an hourly. These are the only areas I'd look to. And I talk about this in my Seek and Destroy video. What can I anticipate after a run of buy side and sell side, if we're going to stay in this range, is equilibrium. Our initial dealing range. So when we run highs, look for price to trade where? Back to that initial dealing range, equilibrium. So what happens? Okay, nothing. Right here, run a high, back to that. Run a high, back to that. Run this low, back to that. Run a high, back to that. Nothing, nothing. Run a low, back to that. Run a low, still hasn't taken, back to that. There you go. There's nothing I'm trying to do in this. No. Premium Discord live trade. I don't have any plans right now. I enjoy just helping people. You didn't want to start every video. Yeah, no, thank you. I'm not even gonna say that. I make it look easy. It's not easy. It's just you find things that work for you, right? Like I was explaining this to some people one time. They're like, I don't know what to do right now, and I'm like, have you looked at the daily chart? Where are you struggling? It's because you see this, and then you're trying to trade after it. If you understand what happens after expansion, we get retracement, reversal, right? But generally consolidation too. Look how many times we have 3 expansion days, and then what follows, right? 1, 2, 3, consolidation. 1, 2, consolidation, right? 1, 2, kind of 3 days there if you add them together, consolidation. 1, 2, consolidation. So it's like, stop trying to trade right after large expansions on the daily chart. Probably have better success. Monthly volume, yeah. We can go to DXY. I didn't take a look at. Yeah, we are in that monthly volume imbalance. But we're consolidating. January hasn't left December's high or low. So I'll just wait for this. Ideally, I'd want to see us reach to this high first before this low. Why is that? Tell me this. Price is right here. Is it more easy to go to this high or to this low? Well, considering this is twice the distance as this, more likely to go over to that high. Sorry, I'm singing because my music's on. Appreciate that, Mac1. TOFO's protected highs and lows indicators. I haven't. But I actually so I have 2 videos scheduled out. I have a propulsion block video for my next one, and then I'm doing a basic market structure, then advanced market structure. And I leave one little gem in that video on the basic one. So that's just how I view it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna hop off. Let's see. AM trades, yeah, just check out his stuff. Yeah, if you have the MMXM course and you study that, pair it with AM Trade's weekly profile, that's it. That's all you need. But with that, I think I'm gonna hop off. Hope you guys learned something. Kind of dropped a lot of stuff in this video. Yeah. So, hope you learned something. AM Trades PDFs, just go to his Twitter, AM Trades. I retweet a lot of his stuff. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next time whenever I decide to make another live stream. So, peace out. Have a good one.